Glenn?
Are we live? I'm not seeing the light saying we're live. It is
live,
July 1st, 2019. The first Monday Night Raw of the Paul Heyman era. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Raj Giri, and cosplaying as Gallows from Street Fighter 2 in an homage to the Bucks and Kenny Omega on Saturday night is Mr. Matt Morgan. How's it going, Matt?
Paul Heyman didn't direct this show. We got Glenn sitting there playing with himself with his Blue Chew pills that he took earlier for 10 minutes before we went live. He didn't even know we were live. What the hell, Glenn?
I'm glad.
The light still isn't on. You know,
mine is.
Sometimes your equipment doesn't perform. And speaking of, no, just kidding.
I'll take over. Great show. Great kickoff to the show, Raj. I agree with your tweet. You tweeted earlier that although I think you went a little heavy by calling it the best start of Monday Night Raw in a decade. Is that what you said?
I mean, as far as using current talent and things like that, I mean, the only other one I could think of is, Steve Austin when he showed up at Raw 25, but that wasn't like current storylines. That was,
maybe you're right, because 10 years, you're right. I mean, geez, what is that? You know what I mean? 2010, what really has happened since then?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, usually it's a long promo, that opens the show. The McMahon's talking forever.
Yeah.
So I thought this was, I thought this, I mean, I'm sure people in the chat will probably send some examples of stuff that was probably better, but this is one of the best ones I can remember. Yeah.
Glenn, we were just talking about how, Raj sent a tweet out earlier about he thought this was the best opening of Raw in a decade. It felt like, I agree. It was a really amazing opening. Got me. I was excited before the show started, though, to be fair. Paul Heyman has that effect. You know what I mean? Like, you want to see it do well. So when you're watching a show and you want to see it do well, there's a very big difference versus pessimistic Pete over here, me, watching it with the glass half empty going, this sucks, week in and week out. And not really giving the show a full, to be fair, 100% chance, because I'm ready to crap on it immediately because I'm old, battered down, grizzled vet here.
Yeah, we're used to it. We kind of have our expectations, kind of know what's going to happen. So I feel like the past few weeks, ever since they've, the no action in the commercial breaks, they need to fix some of that stuff, because some of these segments get awkward with all the 2 out of 3 falls matches and constantly restarting matches. They don't need to do that. You could just have more segments and more matches, as opposed to having to keep, finding ways to keep the existing ones going on. But other than that, I thought it was the show moved pretty well. Mostly good. I thought it was mostly good tonight. Some of it great. I love the AJ Club angle. So yeah, I thought it was a third week in a row. I thought Raw was a really good show, and I can't remember the last time that's happened, like 3 weeks in a row.
Before we get into it, am I wrong? Before we get into it, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Maybe I'm overrating this, but to me, Maria Kanellis stole the show.
Oh, I tweeted that too. I thought she's in there with Seth and Becky, and she just stole that segment.
Right? We've not heard anything from her. I didn't even know they were under contract. I think you guys were telling this the other week to me when they were re-signing people, and that they were 2 people they re-signed. I was in my head. I didn't want to admit this. In my head, I go, "Holy shit, they're with WWE." I didn't even know that.
Yeah, on 205 Live, Matt.
That's awesome, though. I mean, what is that? You know what I mean? You get interjected, and it just goes to show you. And Paul knows her upside down, inside out. He used to work really close with her in OVW and some of the other talents, actually. Yeah. And he had always believed in her promo work.
Yeah, I thought that segment just absolutely sucked until Maria got in there. And when she
because the Seth and Becky stuff is, you want to talk about getting some on you?
Oh, boy.
Lord.
Oh, my gosh. That's not – I tweeted this, too. That's not doing either of them any favors.
Poor Mike, though.
So, all right. Mike is right, but let's get going.
Yeah, let's run through this.
Yeah, so we opened with the Falls Count Anywhere match, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, and the falls were frequent and were all over the arena tonight, leading to the moment we saw replayed, and gosh darn it, it deserved every single replay it got, which was Braun Strowman doing a running slam on Bobby Lashley through, I don't even know what we even call it. It was like the entire screen of the entrance.
It wasn't a running slam. He hit him with his running tackle thing.
Running tackle, pardon me.
Right.
And it was awesome, though, because like you said, Glenn, we've never seen that before. In my opinion, I've never seen it done that exact way. That was dangerous, the way they did it, and it was really well done.
Yeah, I feel like they've gone through the screen before.
Yeah.
But the way this was done, I thought was very effective with having the the little fireworks and explosions, and
Yeah.
and the way they sold it big time, like it was a huge moment. Corey Graves on air goes, "Holy shit!" It wasn't bleeped out.
Yeah, it added to it.
Yeah, it added to it. It just made it feel like it just made it feel like a huge deal, and like you just saw something big happen. And,
the show had a much more edgy aesthetic to it, I thought.
Yeah, and I was almost worried that they were going to cheapen it by having Braun stand up at the end or something like that, but they didn't. They sold it big, and I thought it was very effective. And I did not care about this program at all with Lashley and Strowman before tonight, and this really changed that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they had a fun little match before that spot too. They were
yes, they did. They were killing each other.
yeah. They were doing well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very serious match. This definitely was the most interesting thing, certainly better than the tug of war and arm wrestling contests that they had. But a great way to start the show and show they're doing something different. I mean, the amount of sparks that were flying and pyro that was going off when they did that screen crash, that was very impressive.
Yeah, it was.
It was a cool moment.
Yeah, and they lingered on it with a backstage camera angle, seeing part of the entrance backstage that you normally don't see. They were treating it like something really serious happened. This wasn't one of those no sells where they just, go, oh, let's go on to the next thing. They gave it weight and context, which I thought really helped sell the severity of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Detail.
Yeah. There's rumors of, WWE having a new stage or, usually, clearly they're going to have one for SmackDown when they move to Fox. So you would think that they do the same for Raw, but I wouldn't think that would happen until October. But obviously they could use this as a way to speed that up. But I don't see it happening just yet.
Yep.
And then unfortunately something had to follow this. And that was the Viking Raiders versus the New Day in a tag team match. Now this got interrupted by Samoa Joe pretty early on, right before the commercial break. So this was their excuse for stopping the action. Samoa Joe got involved and attacked. Kofi Kingston came out, and then we had all three of the New Day versus the Viking Raiders and Samoa Joe in a 6-man tag, which led to Samoa Joe and the Viking Raiders getting a victory, and Samoa Joe putting Kofi in the coquina clutch and choking him out.
Okay, I hated it until Joe came out because I'm a Joe fan. So I was happy to see Joe and Kofi's angle, move forward. This is what we're talking about when we said Kofi needs an opponent he can beat. I don't want to see Joe get beat though, obviously, but do you know what I mean? Though, like he needs somebody he can beat that is, Joe. They've screwed with Joe a lot, up and down, up and down, up and down, back and forth. But still, he's still somehow Joe, and the fans respect him. So a win over him that can help Kofi a hell of a lot more than Dolph Ziggler will.
Yeah, and anyone that listens to this podcast knows I'm never a fan of the world champion getting pinned or submitted unless it's a title change. But here, it made total sense. Joe needed that. I mean, this was his first victory on TV since WrestleMania. Yeah, they're putting him in the world title picture without giving him any wins, so he really needed it. I thought it was well done, and it made sense. Again, the restarting of the matches, I feel like it's just awkward, but it made sense. The Viking Raiders, I was surprised how little of a reaction they had at first.
I'm not. Are you serious? Why? Why would they get a big reaction?
Just because people from NXT, the NXT. Street Profits got a huge pop. They accidentally showed the Street Profits at the beginning of the show for a brief second. It was like a little camera flub. But later on, the other segments, they got a huge pop. So
They did. You know how that works though with NXT talents, unless they're like the huge ones, the huge stars like Nakamura or Finn Balor and Kevin Owens, let's say, and Sami Zayn. If it's not one of them, right, main event, super duper main event talents, and once they make their debut, the lower level ones, they get their NXT pop for a couple weeks. A couple weeks at most until WWE screws up their gimmick, if they do or not. They usually do. So let's give, hopefully, Street Profits, it's different for them.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it's because Viking Raiders weren't in NXT long enough to really make a mark?
There's a part to that, for sure. There's a little bit of that. Yeah, absolutely.
And they botched their call-up with the Viking experience.
They did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, name changes every other week. And then they were off of TV for like a month.
None of that helps, so I don't blame them not getting a reaction.
Yeah.
And I think it's a tough gimmick because I think it is something that, like the Ascension, going to the example, their gimmick is a little outlandish and a little cartoony. So I think you really have to build them properly, or it's so easy to become a joke when you stand out like that if people don't take you seriously.
Yes. This is a man coming to the ring wearing horns on their head. Yes. Yes. That is the quintessential definition of corny.
Yeah. And calling yourself a Viking when that's in your name. I mean, Vikings didn't call themselves Vikings, right? That was given to them later. So anyway, it's. I mean, I wish they would just go back to War Raiders. I don't know if Vince just doesn't feel that's PG, which is they call Ember Moon the War Goddess, even though that's not technically her name. But I don't know.
I mean, why is War? I don't know. Whatever. Go ahead. Move on.
Drake Maverick backstage with his wife.
Is that his real wife? Is that his real wife?
Yeah.
You believe so? Yes.
Yeah. The wedding, everything, all that was legit. They filmed the 24/7 stuff after the actual wedding, so they went back and filmed it. But yeah, that's Renee Michelle. She was in the 2017 Mae Young Classic. She's wrestled in the past, Maryland Championship Wrestling, lots of indies. So she's got a strong background. She's got a cool look. I mean, I think she can be a star if depending on how they use her. But yeah, that's real wife.
So after that, speaking of wives, Karl Henderson and Luke Gallows were backstage with AJ Styles. AJ was saying he's going to get that title shot and beat Ricochet for the WWE United States Championship. And Anderson said he did not believe he could beat Ricochet and put his hot Asian wife on the line.
Well, he gets to keep her, right?
Well, there's that. And then we went to No Way Jose versus Cesaro, which was kind of a nothing match. Really there for R-Truth coming out in No Way Jose's conga line, taunting Drake Maverick and his wife who were in the crowd, setting up.
Was good.
Yeah, it was cute. Cesaro attacked Jose, started the match. Did they? No, they didn't even finish this. Never officially started.
No, they never started it. And I felt like this was more effective. I mean, Cesaro versus No Way Jose. You know what's going to happen. But I thought Cesaro kicking the crap out of him outside the ring, doing that, his finisher, on the outside, the neutralizer. I thought it was just way more effective than a match would have been. So I like this.
Totally.
Is No Way Jose over? Like even with kids or anything, I feel like Well, that's why I'm asking.
I don't know.
I would think maybe at live events, if he opens the show up, people are probably into it, but that's probably about it.
Yeah, somebody who's never seen him before, maybe.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, he's got size. He's got kind of a cool look.
He does got sneaky size, doesn't he? He's taller than what you think he is.
Yeah, he needs to get under a mask or something, change his total gimmick up, or get away from this.
Yep.
Yeah. After that, what happened after that? Oh, Street Profits were backstage. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Montez gave him a lot of time on the mic. Talked about wanting the smoke with others on Raw.
It was good. The promo was pretty good. I didn't like the beginning part though. Like they're super witty, funny. The promos are usually really good. They don't need to be like copying Rock. Do you know what I mean? Like
that was weird.
Where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, I felt like that kind of threw fans off too. Like they kind of got quiet when he started doing that. Like
it's not who they. That ain't who they are. I don't get what the point of what that was. You know what I mean?
Right.
What was the point of bringing them out tonight and having them do this? I mean, what's the plan you think for them short term?
I'm guessing this is their main roster call up.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. I mean, they don't just usually randomly have guys cutting promos.
Now, remember, this is a shoot of Paul Heyman taking over that show, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what he did when he was in OVW. When he actually took over Ohio Valley Wrestling, he made freaking like quick and like immediate changes to like he started using talents that were not on OVW TV before he took over.
Right.
When Cornette was running it, and then when Paul came in and took over, he used a lot of talents that nobody had heard of, but he believed in, and it changed. Like Ken Anderson couldn't even get on our TV at the time. All right, and then he brings him in, does his whole, gets him super over, and a lot of other people too. Mm-hmm. Lashley, I want to say, and some others, and Maria, and many, many others that couldn't even crack our OVW TV. I'm telling you, for like a year. And so I think my point is with Street Profits, I guarantee you that was his call up. I guarantee you that was his idea and saying, if this is my show, we need to bolster our tag division. We need to have a legitimate tag division, and I want these guys called up.
Yeah, I mean, they got the charisma. I mean, Montez Ford especially, I think that guy's going to be a superstar down the road.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they look poised. They didn't look nervous. So, yeah, I thought it was a good.
I just
good
hope
start.
Raj, I hope they stay away from and Glenn probably could will agree with this to some degree. I don't like when we say this all the time as a show, as a podcast. We don't like when they put like Japanese talents in these stereotypical Japanese roles.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they stay clear of that with these two African American wrestlers being in a tag team, like they did with Crime Time. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
Like they played to every horrible stereotype, every negative stereotype that they possibly could. They made those guys do. The guys did a great job. They were funny with it. Crime Time, God bless them, but they don't have to always do that.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
But they are called street profits, so I don't know what.
Right.
How do they stay clear of that?
I'm glad you brought that up, Matt. That was my worry tonight. I felt like I don't know where the line is, but I could see it based on what they were doing. But sometimes I feel like it's not my place to say or call foul on something like that. But I agree. There was something about it that seemed a little more caricature than character.
Yeah, honestly, we could say something because it's
happened.
We're the white, yellow, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, Fife Dog from the Zulu Nation. That's a Tribe Called Quest quote. We can, because we're the fans watching it, and at times it's they try to patronize us at times, and I want to make sure that's not what's happening with these two guys, because these two guys are studs. They don't need that crap.
Yeah,
they don't need the bells and whistles. As far as being negative stereotypes goes, they can just go out in the ring and be two stud-ass athletes that talk mad crap and back it up. Like, that's good enough for me as a fan watching. I want to see those guys.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I think with any performer, and you certainly know this better than anyone, it's you're given a character, but you ultimately have that final say of, am I comfortable with this? Is this what I want to portray and what I want to do? So I defer to Montez and Angelo that this is something they're comfortable with and they want to put out there.
New guys getting called up. I mean, Jesus Christmas, guys, I stuttered on national television for crying out loud in my black underwear. So let's really dye horrible black hair dye. But I'll digress. That's my point. When you're new and you're young, you'll do whatever the hell it takes to get on there and start, and you think you can make everything work. So it's hard to say no when you're new. So God bless. I hope they're able to. But then again, it's Paul that's doing it, so I trust Paul.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see how it evolves, but I agree. I felt like it could go either way for a few moments there tonight, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Real quick note about Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. So Heyman, tonight was his first night, officially in that role, but the changes are going to be coming slowly. Like it's not like he had complete control tonight. He didn't? So, no. So he's still. They're slowly going to be implementing his changes and things like that. I'm sure that opening segment up. I would guess it was Paul.
Find out why they were called up, though. Seriously, find out.
Yeah. I'm sure it was Paul. But and he's had some influence backstage for a while now. He's been working creatively a little bit here and there.
Because Mike Kanellis would not have been on tonight's show, dude. No effing way.
Yeah. So he definitely had input tonight, and you could see it. The show felt a lot different than usual. As for Eric Bischoff, he's moving. He did an interview. He talked about it on his podcast. He's starting with WWE pretty much imminently. He's moving to Stamford.
Wow.
I guess he's going to be starting the week after Extreme Rules. So,
Raj, what are they getting paid? Do you know?
No.
I mean, for him to move from where he lives, like in peace and get the hell away from me, people. I'm just gonna hang out in my house and do podcasts and make money all day.
Right.
For him to be interrupted from that. You got to imagine they threw a lot of money at him.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not a small amount.
No, if I was making what his podcast is making, I mean, it would take a lot.
And he's still doing his podcast.
Well, so he's not giving it up, but still,
right?
More is always better, I suppose. Going to talk about a lot more. The Undertaker. Also going to touch upon the Mike and Maria Kanellis situation. Now, unlike Mike Kanellis, I've got my own nutsack, and it's not in my wife's possession. I've got mine right here. Raj, you got your nutsack at the ready to whip out?
I do. It's right here.
Yes, Nutsack sponsoring tonight's episode. Why are they called Nutsack? Not for the reason you think. It's because they were told they were nuts to manufacture in America. Nutsack makes perfect bags for your everyday carry, and it's fantastic. I use it when I'm going out and about. I've been using it lately. I've been back on the DDP yoga tip, so I've liked that I've been able to keep a water bottle in there, have some, nice place to put my wallet when I change, when I work out at the gym. It's really, really good, whether I'm going to business, whether I'm going to work out, whether I'm just even out running errands or going to a trade show. Nutsack has been awesome for all my travels, all my endeavors. And like I said, Nutsack is made in the USA out of high quality materials and craftsmanship, American wax canvas, American leather, American labor, strongly water resistant. And in fact, your Nutsack comes with a lifetime guarantee. Now you give them 2 weeks and they claim they will change your life. And I can back that up. In fact, they guarantee that you'll love your Nutsack versus stuffing your pockets, or they have a 30-day money back guarantee. Nutsack makes the most comfortable bags. They're not too bulky. They're rugged. They're durable. You can beat the hell out of it, and you don't have to stuff your pockets. Oh, man, you don't get that Costanza wallet effect, having your keys poke your thighs. You can also keep your daily essentials, flashlight, glasses, technology. I keep my iPad in mine, extra batteries, chargers, everything I need. You can be better organized and just grab your Nutsack and go. And right now, Nutsack is offering our listeners $5 off their first purchase. But to receive this discount, you have to go to nutsack.com. Now, that's NUTSAC.com. And use the promo code wrestling at checkout. You're going to save $5 off your first purchase. Nutsack, American manufactured bags, super high quality, absolutely the perfect essential go-to item for any man who's got to be places and needs to take their stuff with them. Nutsack.com, promo code wrestling, save $5. Raj, how's yours working out? Oh, sorry, Matt.
Who cares? How do you clean yours? How do you get rid of from yours, Glenn? Is there a way to clean it?
Wet microfiber cloth, man.
Can I throw it in the washing machine?
No, it's leather.
Yeah, man. Look,
I have mine. I can throw it in.
Mine's a little beat up. It's a little rugged because I've been taking it on hikes and everything. I put my iPads in there, my laptop. Yeah, I don't shave it, so it's rugged.
It is rugged. Well, I was going to ask that, and I actually, it's funny you said trade show because I'm not exaggerating. I just came from a trade show in Las Vegas, and I actually had that because I had to put my small I had like an iPad, along with my phone and along with like a bunch of different. I actually brought my 8x10s, believe it or not, to a trade show that I was there to be selling laser equipment at, mind you, and but that was the perfect size. It was the perfect size bag to bring instead of my big, annoying, clunky bag that I usually have to carry around. That my laser's usually in. Yeah. It was perfect. This is my first time of actually being able to put it to use, so I liked it. And why do they say they're crazy for wanting to create this product in America?
Well, you know it, man. When you're doing American-made products, you're going to pay a higher cost for labor, first and foremost. You're going to pay a higher cost for high-quality materials. So the problem with most messenger bags, I'm sure you've owned quite a few in your time in backpacks and whatnot, is you buy these ones that are made overseas. They're made from cheap quality materials, not made by the most skilled, trained labor. And the problem is you have it. It's good for maybe a couple months, a year max, and then it starts falling apart. The seams start busting on it. Stuff starts falling out of it. What I love about Nutsack is this is durable as hell. And I can't say that about a lot of other bags that I've owned.
Does yours drop, or did you have like a long, like, what do you call it, shoulder strap?
Yeah, I have the shoulder strap on it, which is nice for crossbodying. I mean, it's really good, man. I had to bring a lot of stuff back from StarCast, and it was perfect. So I've been a big messenger bag guy for years, and this is definitely the way to go. Most comfortable one I've owned. And again, nutsack.com, NUTSAC.com, promo code wrestling, save $5 off your first order. We got The Undertaker tonight. Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre came out. Shane did his intro shtick, started cutting a promo, and then boom, lights went out.
There's a little thunder.
That was cool. Honestly, guys, let's just be honest. The pop of the crowd, you know what I mean, for the thunder was cool. But then for each progressing bong was awesome.
Yeah.
But I wish they gave Drew a little bit more time to talk. I like that he wasn't scared of Taker. I love that effect a lot. Because I know Taker. I know he's looking at Drew going like, I want to do business with this kid. This kid's money. I know it. No doubt about it in my head.
Yeah. And I thought Drew looked like $1 million out there.
Yep.
Just giving that Undertaker that death stare, like not scared at all, not in awe, just looking like a badass. Undertaker, overall, this segment I thought was a thumbs up. The only part, it really kind of went downhill when Taker started talking.
I kind of dug it.
Oh, really? I thought it was just the same promo that he's been doing forever.
It felt like they just kind of gave it to him before he went out. Like they didn't put much thought into it. I didn't think it was very generic. Didn't you think?
Yeah, and it felt long. Like you were kind of waiting. I was almost waiting for how long he was going, that he was going to come up with something different, and it was just the same shit. It's taking two souls and you'll be dead.
Yeah, but remember I'm sorry.
I like that he put over Shane. He had a respect a little bit after WrestleMania. I like that. He did some good, some good stuff in that, right? But the soul taking and whatnot, you're right.
And then the fans kind of booed him a little when he said, "You may be the best in the world in this world," or something like that. Like the fans did not want to hear anything remotely close to Shane being the best in the
world. Then what does that tell you? If that's Undertaker, he don't ever get booed.
Right? Yeah.
Or should he really ever? But seriously,
it's got to be it's got to be a shitty line if Undertaker's getting booed.
Yeah. Okay, but here's what I liked about it. And compare this to what we saw at Raw 25 at the Manhattan Center. They kept the lighting dark. He didn't take the hat off, so we didn't get the stupid red line across his forehead.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah, that always takes me out of the moment. Every time he takes the hat off, he's got that indentation.
He doesn't do that for promos.
Sometimes he does.
He always stays with the hat on and everything. He never.
But they don't keep the lighting down. What I'm saying is they gave us the mystique. It was there. It was short. I liked it. I thought it was good. I like how he said, about his relationship with Roman. It's like Roman didn't call him out. He did it proactively. Thought it was good that he put over Drew and Shane a bit. A little biblical with the end there, which is kind of I liked it. I thought it was worked well. I'm looking forward to this match, and him and Drew looked pretty darn good facing off with each other.
Look, people on social media are going to rip Taker all the time, saying he's too old and needs to retire, and there's truth to that, right? I mean, he is he's up there. He's 52 now, 53. But people care about him more than anyone else on the show.
Who else gets that reaction in their entrance? Come on.
Exactly. And that match is going to get the most interest. I mean, people shout on Undertaker and Goldberg, but that match by far had the most interest on that show, and that's over the 2 world title matches. So it's going to be the case here too. This tag match is going to be get the most interest on this pay-per-view.
It will.
So that match is happening in Extreme Rules. What's up with Roman Reigns?
What do you mean?
Well, he wasn't on the show tonight. Now, did you think it was interesting that when the New Day came out, Corey Graves said, "Oh, I'm sick of seeing these guys because of the wild card rule."
Oh, no, but I mean, I almost thought they didn't mention the wild card at all. So they did.
It seemed like they this was restraint tonight compared to recent weeks.
So, I mean, Roman, he just wrestled on Raw last week.
It was good when he was on, I thought.
Yeah, and I'm sure, maybe he'll be on SmackDown tomorrow. I would expect him to be. And, he hasn't been on SmackDown in a while. He's been on Raw every week and not SmackDown, even though he's technically a SmackDown guy. Right. So hopefully that just means he's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night.
Baron Corbin was backstage with Lacey Evans while she was getting ready, and Baron addressed Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch about the winners take all match at Extreme Rules. What did you think of this promo and how they both came across, Matt?
A major league promo from Corbin. I'm sorry. I thought everything in his delivery, his facials I'm telling you, it was spot on. On Twitter, I'm seeing people make fun of how big his head is compared to Lacey's head. And I'm going, you all missed his damn promo, though. His promo was money. And again, because he's wearing his gimmick that he's wearing, it doesn't matter because he's cutting a promo backstage.
Yeah, I thought Corbin. Sorry. Yeah, for sure. I thought Corbin. I agree with you. I thought Corbin was good here. Lacey, I thought she looked like $1 million, but this stuff that they scripted her, I thought was pretty bad.
That's going to be tough. It's always going to be tough for her. And the Bless Your Heart was perfectly timed and executed. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it's playing toward her character. You give her credit for that, right? Mm-hmm. But that's really about hitting that promo for her. Right. It's tough to connect that damn character into today's day and age and how you're going to talk about this match. And and whatnot. It doesn't have to be a story about a wandering eye, and it's such a low hanging fruit. WWE, like, good lord, it really is. It's such a damn low hanging fruit. You don't always have to go grab it.
All right.
Wait. Did Matt Morgan get woke? Did we have like a body swap thing happen with our minds in between podcasts, Matt? Like, you're bringing up all these points I normally start talking about. I'm kind of impressed here. But yeah, that was a weird angle. It was weird. This whole thing is just, it's getting, no one is looking good in all this. Actually, Mike and Maria looked good in this tonight, or Maria looked good.
I think Baron is. I think
so?
Baron is, and I think work-wise, Lacey is, because she's getting in the ring and she's looking like a freaking monster.
She looks like a star. I mean,
she looks like such a star.
That's undeniable, but yeah.
She had that match tonight against Natalya. Baron Corbin was ringside for that. How do you think that match played out?
I mean, did you see that clothesline that started off the mats on the outside of the ring from Lacey? Holy crap. Dude, she's starting to lay her stuff in, which tells me she's getting more comfortable. And that's important. You don't want crap that is see-through. I'll give you one spot that was see-through. Is when she took Natalya by the head and simply tried to head bonk her in the corner on the top turnbuckle. And then she went to go do it again when Natalya was not ready to do that. She's ready to back up into the corner. Little things like that. You got to take control, verb your opponent, and you have to be very physical at times in a working way, because the heels are just supposed to call the match, even though in this case Natalya is the more experienced one and definitely the quarterback in all those matches between the two, and she's the leader. But still, as a heel and a bigger heel, you need to always look like you're being overly physical with your opponent, and you can't kind of gingerly pick them up by their head and go to head bonk them, and they don't want to do it. It just looked crappy. It's the only thing in there I thought that was very see-through, which means she's improving.
Yeah. Well, I just noticed how many people are watching us live. This is kind of almost like a it's a lot tonight. It's almost like a B show. I'll tell you afterward. But yeah. Cool. It's because it keeps changing, but
cool.
When we get to our peak, I'll tell you.
But do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like she's improving every time, and
absolutely,
I was wrong about her from the beginning.
No, she's a. I mean, she plays her character well. I to your point, Matt, I think they got to dial it down a little bit so she could be a little more realistic and not a caricature.
Why does she need it, Raj? She's a badass. Like,
I know.
She's military police.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so you could like tone down the over Southern belleness of it, and
she's a legitimate Wonder Woman. Like in real life, would whip all three of our asses. Like, what in the hell? She doesn't need to be doing this.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
And I wonder why that's not her gimmick. More like Wonder Woman, more like a female super soldier. You know?
Yes, Captain Marvel all day. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But instead, we get one of the designing women in a wrestling ring. I thought Natalya, the match was good tonight. Baron Corbin tripped Natalya. Lacey Evans took advantage, got the pin and the win, while Natalya was distracted with her attention to Corbin. And after that, Rollins and Becky were looking on from the back. Ricochet was backstage with Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Charlie Caruso interrupted, asked for a word. They were building up his match tonight against AJ.
That Ricochet promo was a little rough.
I feel bad criticizing him because he's so awesome in the ring, but
yeah, he is.
But what, play a character. If his natural persona isn't coming across like the stud athlete he is, pretend you're somebody else. Figure out, are you Will Smith? Who's your guy? Who's your spirit celebrity that you're going to pretend to be? I feel that he just needs to project a little more natural swagger on the mic, and he could be the face of this company, but that's what's holding him back.
Yeah. I mean, it is. There's a little disconnection when it's time for him to talk, but it should be improving. He's getting enough reps, in my opinion, where it should be starting to improve.
AJ and Ricochet faced off backstage, and it devolved in them slapping each other in the face before walking off.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like that. I like the promo. You could kind of see the foreshadowing of AJ kind of turning heel. It was cool. I think it was effective. I felt, I've been saying this for a while now. Like AJ's been getting a little bland as a babyface. So
yeah,
this
works.
After that, 2 out of 3 falls match between the Miz and Elias, each picking up a fall. Oh,
this is where the show lost me.
Yeah, same here. I think I went to go get a snack once this 2 out of 3 falls match started. Mm-hmm. The 2 out of 3 fall stuff is just ridiculous at this point. They're doing it every show. Just have one fall and have a different segment. You don't need 3 segments with, the Miz and Elias or whatever, 2, I guess it was tonight.
Yeah.
I feel like they're really running out every single way they can think of to stop the action before it goes to commercial. I mean, we'll talk about what they did in the main event, but I feel like they're just running through a list. Right. Like, here's every possible way we can have a break in this and not have it feel forced. So the Miz won this match. It was what it was. I'm assuming in Extreme Rules they're going to face each other.
Yeah, Miz won the first fall. Is that right?
Yeah, then Elias got one, then the Miz got the third after the commercial.
And Elias beat Miz last week. I mean, they've been just trading victories. It doesn't mean anything at this point. Miz keep saying it. If he doesn't turn heel, he's going to keep going further and further down the card. I mean, if he's going to be on Extreme Rules, it'll probably be in a pre-show match. I can't see him and Elias being, anything more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt weird. Didn't it seem weird to you guys when he was coming down the ramp and he was sitting there with the crowd posing with them? Like, that just seems so un-Miz-like. This is a very new territory for him.
Yeah, it is, but you still gotta try new things when you get an opportunity like he's getting to finally not be Dickie Miz that he's been for like 300 years.
But don't you think? I'm sorry.
He's better as Dickie Miz for 300 years, though. Unfortunately, so
absolutely.
He's going to be welcomed back as a heel by the crowd for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Some guys can do it, but this gives me pause. Like, I don't think MJF is ever going to get a face turn. I think it's going to go about as well as this.
If simple on what you do with MJF, you'd make all the witty big dog moments where he big dogs the audience or he big dogs whoever the hell it is. You just make it his opponent. That's all you do. His promos, because he's funny as hell. He'd be able to flip that, in my opinion. I think he's
perhaps
his money.
Do you watch MJF's media scrum?
Come on, what kind of question is that? How many times did I watch? He's so hilarious.
Did you hear when Nick asked him about Jungle Boy telling him that, saying that MJF went long in his promo and MJF just got in Nick's face and then went off and just took off.
Yeah.
It was great. It's on a Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel, so check it out if you haven't.
I hope so. Nick added to it. Nick totally added to his character in that moment in time. It was awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
See, but if I were the Miz and I were just hearing about this guy and seeing this, if I were the Miz and seeing what Jericho's doing, I would just be itching to turn heel again because the Miz is so good when he does this. And it's so awkward with him as a face. It's just not quite connecting. After that, okay, for me, this, aside from the crash at the beginning, this was, I thought, leading to a high point of the night. Becky and Rollins backstage, kind of having a little awkward interview about their relationship and like flirting with each other a little bit, talking about Rollins being impulsive. And then out of nowhere, Maria Kanellis comes out. Starts talking about being the first couple of WWE, talks about pushing out an 8-pound baby out of her uterus, said that she deserves a title. Mike Kanellis appeared, and then, they said that they're going to have a mixed match face-off, and then called Mike Kanellis her bitch, and then said they'll face Rollins and his, which was like, whoa, that's a little edgy.
Yeah, my bitch will face your bitch.
Yeah. They went to the ring for this match that was really just a squash of Mike. When Becky tried to get Maria involved, Maria grabbed the mic and started just emasculating Mike Kanellis. Seriously, he's not a man. He couldn't even get her pregnant again. It was pretty savage. Everything from not doing chores to, I think she said something about him not being able to get it up.
At Chris one, she said Becky Lynch. She said the man over here has a better chance of impregnating me than you do, right? Didn't she say that?
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what it was.
That's the one out. My jaw dropped. I was like, whoa, geez. How do you come back from that? Really quick.
Real quick, the finish, and then Becky submitted Mike Kanellis.
Which doesn't help.
No.
And on commentary, they did the thing again where commentary said he took his wife's last name because, Vince thinks that's like the biggest emasculating move.
Yes, he does. And I was going to say this has Vince written all over it as far as what they were doing with poor Mike Kanellis. Come on. Do you know what I mean? This was overboard, but it worked for Maria Kanellis. Let's just call a spade a spade. Like, she was the ultimate heel on tonight's show. She crushed it. And
I wonder if she's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
She's got some great steam on her. She has some awesome heat right now. That's authentic heat right there. She has. It's very rare to get.
Yeah, I wonder if she's really pregnant or if this is part of the storyline.
Yeah, good question.
Because that is something Heyman would use, right?
It is, but by the same token, they haven't been. Well, you said they've been on 205 Live being featured.
Yeah,
for how
but
long?
she hasn't been doing anything active though. But they've been on 205 Live for months.
You would think maybe she would have announced that prior. Usually, when people aren't on TV very much being featured, those are the times I've seen in the past, at least, where some talents would announce they're pregnant, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know enough about him to know that or not. I just know that she's got some heat on her.
She was great. I gotta say this, man, and we've talked about this before when they started using Seth and Becky's relationship, on screen.
Yeah.
That was just brutal. The stuff with them.
Backstage too, terrible.
It was terrible.
Talking about the belt being on her in bed is becoming a problem. He could not have sounded any more uncomfortable.
He looked like such a geek doing this, and Becky just came across as annoying. They're gonna kill these guys dead if they keep doing this stuff.
Which is a shame, because you would think boyfriend and girlfriend would have on paper. If you just think about it, just on paper, you'd think, well, we're trying to get Seth more over, or we're trying to get Becky even more white hot, if you will. Who could we put them in a segment with that makes them incredibly comfortable, where they can just let their hair down and be themselves finally? Well, obviously, one another's spouse, or in this case, one another's boyfriend, girlfriend, their significant other. Who else is going to make them more comfortable than someone who loves them, right? So on paper, I would understand the logic. But once you saw it the first time, should have been enough for them to say, oh, shit, no, X, this completely off. Yeah. And let's go back to where we were with these guys.
Yeah, it reminds me of like when you have those friends and it's like, I like you two individually, but I don't want to hang out with you two together.
It just makes them both uncomfortable. Becky's more comfortable between the two, you could tell. But Seth is just, his voice changed. His tone was changed too. Did you notice that? It was a little bit higher, a little bit like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm probably over analyzing it here, but it was noticeable to me in the backstage segment.
Yeah, I just thought this was just awful stuff.
Like, we don't need him being, trying to be too cute, too comedic. And we would all do this. And so I don't know. Where do you draw the line though, Raj? Because I could see myself totally doing that with my wife in real life at dinner with my friends and stuff like that, and saying, I told you this place was the bomb. Who told you? Who suggested we come here? No, I did. This guy right here. And she would just look at me. I'm like, just playing. She was all her idea. You know what I mean? And people would laugh probably. Okay, we've all been there and done that. I just don't know if I want to see it on my wrestling show.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm sure like UFC fighters do that, but you don't want to see that in a pre-fight promo.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah, that's actually a really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, I just think this is it's going to hurt both of them. I think fans like him too much that it's not going to do any permanent damage or anything, but they're losing a lot of their edge every week.
Hey, Art, may I ask you a dumb question, you guys? Do you think, though, for the kids watching, the female fans, that it adds to it? Do you think they're all going crazy for it?
I don't know about kids, but I could tell you for the female fans, I mean, I was not the only one on Twitter tonight. For the first 2 hours, every woman we saw on Raw was involved with a man in a relationship in the segment, with the exception of Natalya. I think that they want to see the women be given a time to shine on their own and not just be who they're dating or have that involved. So I think for female fans, this is probably a step in the wrong direction.
So a couple of the women in our chat are saying they hate it.
All right. Thanks, ladies. All right, good. Okay. Just making sure that works. So we're not completely off here, right?
Yeah. And people tweeting at me. One guy said his girlfriend walked in and was like, oh, that's cute. But I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for when you're selling a pro wrestling storyline. So
my wife will stop it. Yeah, that's a great example. My wife will say, those two, are they really dating, or is this a gimmick? Yeah. Like, no, they're really dating. Really? So she'll sit down and watch like 1 second and get up and go, and then keep walking and leave the room.
Another thing is, I think, which is weird for a real life couple, they don't have like chemistry. It's not like Miz and Maurice, right?
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. Because on paper, it makes sense for them to go here. It really does. But unfortunately, when you saw what happened the first time they were together, that should have been enough for them to say, "Oh shoot," and you know what I mean. Let's abandon ship now. They're too important to us to jeopardize and run a chance on this.
And by chemistry, I don't mean as a couple. Whatever they do is there. I meant on screen.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but between the two, he's worse than she is.
Yeah,
it's tough. But Maria looked great tonight. Poor Mike Kanellis. I don't know where they go from here, but I'm really curious to see what they do with Maria from here, because I think tonight was her moment. Mike could have had a moment, man. Mike versus Seth, like they've done that match before.
Mike is good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Good. He's really good in the ring. So I'm hoping, and he's super cocky. He knows how to play like a super cocky character, right? Like all those years in Ring of Honor. But I don't know what you do with him out of this. I'm hoping something cool comes from it, because usually when you're willing to show your ass that much and go that deep and that far, swinging for the fences, all to make yourself look foolish, Vince usually repays you. He usually does.
Yeah, he was humiliated pretty hard here tonight. So I hope this means maybe Maria really is pregnant, and if so, if she's taking time off, then hopefully maybe that means Mike. This is leading to him changing his name, dropping that stupid ass entrance theme song that he has, and you know the Tron with the hearts and everything, and come up with something more serious, because he looked like he looked really good in that backstage segment. Yeah, exactly. He's shredded now. He looked, he was giving that killer stare to Seth. I mean, he looked mean. So I hope they go with that, because he can be a real hand.
The Prodigy, right? That was his name, The Prodigy. Or am I making that up?
Was that it? I remember his Miracle Mike Bennett in TNA.
Ring of Honor, though. I thought it was
Ring of Honor. Yeah, I think you might be right. He was with when he was with the Kingdom.
Yeah.
We'll see. It was a nice surprise seeing them tonight, regardless. A little unexpected, the angle they took. Then we got a moment. Oh, we got Paul Heyman backstage with Charlie Caruso. Is talking about cash-in by Lesnar, doing his normal tease. Street Profits interrupted him, messed around with him, taunted him. Heyman said he had to go because he's a busy man. He walked off. They begged him to come back.
Harmless.
Yeah. So we got that Paul Heyman appearance that they advertised.
There you go.
Fans in attendance. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for a moment of bliss. They were making small talk and then interrupted by Carmela. Came out again, tried to tell Nikki that Alexa was taking advantage of her. Bliss called Carmela R-Truth sidekick, and this led to Carmela versus Alexa Bliss, which was a very quick match. Carmela rolled her up quickly, got the win out of nowhere. And after that, we went to commercial, came back to Carmela versus Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross, this match went on for a couple minutes. Nikki Cross won this match. And I think the takeaway was really after them being asked backstage how they feel about where they're saying that the WWE Universe wants to see Nikki Cross face Bayley at Extreme Rules instead of Bliss getting that title shot. So further stoking tensions between the two. What did you think of all this, Matt?
I thought it was well done, actually. I'm not a big Nikki Cross fan, but I thought tonight was a very good piece of business that was done. I thought that was really well done, actually. I wasn't expecting that stuff to happen. Damn sure was not expecting. Oh, geez, horrible.
Carmela?
No, come on.
Alexa
Bliss losing, especially that quickly.
4 seconds.
Come on, Alexa Bliss. They just did a feature on her WWE Network. She's all but the chosen one to a certain degree when you think about it.
Yeah.
The girl's always winning championships. I was surprised by that. And it was really well done. It's further the storyline, and it gets Nikki Cross way more over. And the finish that they went into for Nikki Cross's win was cool as hell, I thought, and very different. I just think, like, I don't know. I think this brings another girl up in Nikki Cross, because how many times have I been saying, like, I don't want to see her be doing this. I want to see her being the crazy and sanity Nikki Cross more. But nonetheless, you hear the crowd's reaction, right?
Yeah, and I think with the storyline, you could always go that Alexa's unable to win it from Bayley and Nikki does, and then that leads to the eventual blow up between Alexa and Nikki, and heads to a SummerSlam match. That'd be one of the better builds that they've had for a women's match since WrestleMania.
Same thing. Okay, on the side of a bus or on the side of a advertisement or a WWE pay-per-view, the back of those, what do you call it, production trucks where they have everyone's face on. Okay, yeah. So you might not see that Nikki Cross versus Alexa Bliss, like, you know, anywhere, anytime soon on something like that. But that's not what matters. What matters is what you just said, is this is one of the first times in a while we've seen a long played out, what could be a long played out storyline arc.
Yeah. And they
we got to like give them their props and go along with them. Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And they kind of planted the seed backstage when I think it was Sarah Schreiber asked Alexa and Nikki, like, well, fans are thinking that it should be Nikki facing Bayley now. And who knows, maybe they add her as make it a 3-way and add her in that match at Extreme Rules.
I think they don't have the discipline to to resist the 3-way.
Yeah.
The way you said it the first time, I was hoping is the way it went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That it goes, I should say. You know what I mean? But you're right.
Yeah.
Drake Maverick backstage with his wife. They were back on good terms after he brought her to the show tonight. They were getting ready to leave. He was staying there by himself, and then R-Truth showed up. Boom! Drake got the better of him, hit him with the luggage, called for a referee, won the 24/7 title, then yelled for his wife to come along so they could do it 24/7 now.
I think a lot of people were almost expecting Renee Michelle, Drake's wife, to win the title.
Oh crap! I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. But they didn't do that.
I like.
And then Drake could have won it from her on their honeymoon.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, dude, Drake with that title is hilarious. I think it's best with him, honestly.
I don't know. He's a really funny guy. Anyone that watched him in TNA as Rockstar Spud knows that, and it's really coming across. He's really entertaining.
Dude, I had so much stuff to give TNA. I used to talk to him. I did an indie show in England, and I met him there. And I was blown away just by his entrance. He used to come out to like Guns N' Roses, and he was like this, like 80s gimmick, basically. Like looked like a lead singer from a band, basically. And he'd trip into the ring, and the crowd. He'd come out looking all cool, and he'd trip into the ring on purpose over the bottom rope, and the crowd would always laugh at him. And I was in the UK, just going, "Wow, this kid's got like charisma by the gallons. Holy crap!" And he could work. And we kept in contact, and I started watching. He started posting these like YouTube. He created his own angle versus who was called at the time Party Marty's girl. Right? He did that reality show, a dating show over there in the UK that was pretty popular, that he got really popular from before he became the Marty's girl we know now. He was a pretty boy at the time.
Huh.
And these two would have these awesome back and forth promos on YouTube with each other. But of course, Rockstar Spuds was like 1,000 times better. And I had so many of them. I kept saving them. And I bring them to Terry Taylor and Russo. And then finally, he got to come back there once. And it was like right when Bischoff took over. And then like Bischoff saw him. He was like, holy, like he immediately like picked them up immediately.
Wow.
And he's so talented.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check those out.
They're hilarious. Oh my God, they're so funny.
Party Marty's girl.
Yeah. And Rockstar Spud just kills him on this one. Just kills him.
Check that out.
Before we get into the main event, there was a Mercy the Buzzard sighting tonight. No Bray Wyatt again on Raw, which fingers crossed, Extreme
He
Rules.
was in the mid-segment. You didn't even put it over. You didn't see him in the background?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. We got Mercy the Buzzard, but no Bray.
Sorry.
Right, his puppets.
Yeah.
I would think the night after Extreme Rules, if not Extreme Rules, but yeah, I'm sure. I've got to think that Heyman and Bischoff. I wonder if they're like, well, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. The wild card rule or whatever. The talents are showing up on both shows anyway, but I'm sure both of them want Bray on their brand.
I hope so.
And I'm sure. I think Paul could do some really cool stuff with them.
Me too.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what happens. The main event tonight, AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship. And I wanted you to know what this match got started. AJ pinned Ricochet. Ricochet's foot was under the bottom rope, but the ref counted to 3 anyhow. Actually, the instant replay they showed it, commentary called it out, and we went to commercial, came back, restarted the match, invalidating the win there. So they used that as an excuse tonight. And then we got this match between the two. Ended up with Ricochet retaining, but the big shocker after was AJ going full heel, attacking Ricochet, Gallows and Anderson out there attacking him as well. And the club's back in business for the first time, it's been at least 2 years, right? Probably a little longer since these guys were doing stuff together.
Yeah, this works. But let's just we'll get right to it. It works. This was a long time coming for AJ turning finally. I think everyone in America knew he was going to turn in tonight's match. I did as soon as I knew it was. I think we all thought so, right?
Mm-hmm.
But especially then once we started watching Raw and as each segment progressed with those two in their storyline. And you could see Gallows Anderson completely, stirring the pot, gassing him up along the way. It was perfect. It was a perfect setup, perfect storm for him to turn heel. Love the Styles Clash off the second rope. Thought that was cool. I was showing my wife Ricochet tonight for the first time. And I was
wow.
Because she's always been impressed with AJ, right? Like, she's like, who's this little dude? AJ's in there. I'm like, he's the same height as AJ. You don't call him a little dude. He's the same height. Right? AJ's a little dude, too. And she's like, well, he's, we like AJ. And I'm like, dude, he's like AJ times 10. I go, Larissa, dead serious. Go back to like when we used to watch AJ when I was in WWE, and AJ just was done with a tryout camp that I had went to. I just got signed, and we went on YouTube and we saw all these crazy flip-flops and flies from AJ Styles. Okay, AJ Styles at that time was the most stolen from wrestler on the planet. Cruiserweights were stealing all his crap because he was so innovative, right? So she knows all that. And I'm telling you right now, this dude is AJ athletically times 10. Wait till you see. And she was just like, holy, like when he did the thing over the top rope, backflip, landed on his feet on the outside of the guys. I can't even begin to tell you how hard these things are. That dude does. Mm-hmm. So I thought this was a great main event. This could main event any show, in my opinion. These two, I don't care what the title situation is, even for no title. As far as in-ring work goes, for my money, I could watch these two go all day.
Yeah. It was it's really fun. I like did we get to the finish yet, or are we?
No. So what was the finish?
Well, real quick. So the first, the referee counted 3. Another referee came in, told him, whoa, his foot was under the ropes, which I hated. I hate when they do that because. What about the 1,000 other matches where it's a disputed finish and they don't have another referee coming?
It was stupid. We said that. We said this part. We said we restarted the match, right? But we didn't say exactly how he won the match. So how did he win?
So anyway, the match was restarted, and then at the finish, Ricochet, God, what did he hit? And he pinned AJ to get the win. After the match, the club, it looked like they were going to attack Ricochet. AJ looked like he was getting ready to defend Ricochet, then turn around, clock to Ricochet, and then the club just beat the crap out of Ricochet. I mean, they laid a big beating on him. So really cool heel turn. The fans were into it. It was hot in the crowd. It's rare to see the crowd hot in the third hour, and they were tonight.
And if you listen closely, fans, if you DVR'd it like I did, go back and watch the very, very, very end. After Ricochet took the Styles Clash off the second rope, you could still hear fans in the front row going, Ricochet, Ricochet, Ricochet. Like I was like, he's dead. He's not coming back, people. This is not the time when you start chanting. But that just goes to show you, he's is going to have good heat out of this, and fans believe in Ricochet, which is so hard as a babyface.
Yeah, I kind of wish. The only thing I wish is that AJ had turned heel on Rollins, because I think AJ Rollins feud. I think Rollins needs more help on top right now than Ricochet does.
Hey, maybe.
Maybe they go. I mean, they could go there.
You do next. That means AJ has got to win the Ricochet feud. Yeah. I'm not okay with that. I cannot. No, Ricochet needs to keep rising.
Yeah, I think when you have someone have a title reign for too short, it hurts them more than it helps them.
Yeah.
And having Ricochet lose the title right off the bat, it's not going to do him any favors. They could do a DQ and then have AJ move on.
Okay, with the club, I could see it. You know what I mean? And then you have U.S. champion versus Universal champion for a little bit as an angle. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Heel AJ versus, like you said, Seth. But they just worked, didn't they?
They did, but so did Seth and Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Intercontinental level too. They had an angle, yeah.
So
yeah, I'd rather have Seth and AJ again than Seth and Corbin.
You think?
Sometimes I have to say it out loud and put it out into the universe, man. It's important.
Yeah, I think AJ versus Seth at SummerSlam would be that would be something. That would get things right back on track as far as the Universal title goes.
Yeah. So
And don't ever call me woke again, by the way, Glenn. Don't let the show go if letting you say that. Don't ever refer to me with that stupid word again.
I was surprised you hadn't
destroyed more.
Right.
You snowflakes are so sensitive. This is what's wrong with this country.
Don't try to reverse our gimmick on us, my friend.
So final thoughts on Raw tonight. First Raw of the Paul Heyman era.
Awesome. Okay. It was a very well. I didn't know what to think going into it, you guys. Like I said earlier to start off the show, I went into the show ecstatic, excited. Holy crap, Paul Heyman's going to have his way. What does that mean? So the fan in me was really excited for the first time in a long time. What did I tell you guys before we did the AEW coverage the other night? I should have said it on the air, to be fair. And it was, doesn't it feel so much better talking about a show that you're excited about to actually come on the air and talk about? It doesn't feel like work. Like this does not feel like it's a job right now. It's fun, right? Versus the many, many weeks of Raw and SmackDown where you're like, ugh, this is the job. I would tell my wife, like, all right, go sign in the computer. I got to go do the damn podcast. Ugh, I don't want to work with this stupid show. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and
for me.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I enjoyed the show, up and down. Again, the Miz versus Elias, it wasn't terrible or anything, but that was one of the down parts. And the Seth and Becky stuff. Other than that, I thought everything on the show was good to great. So I really liked it. And like I mentioned earlier, that this was the third week in a row that I thought Raw was a good show, and it's been a while since we've had that kind of consistency. So
it was encouraging, I thought.
Yeah, so I think the faster pace is definitely helping a lot by not having the matches go through the commercial break. They need to find a way to stop doing all the restarts and just, because that's going to get old really quick. But a big thumbs up for me this week.
It was promising, and I hope it continues down this path, and I think it'll only get better. What else is going on in the world of wrestling? Let's talk about the fallout from AEW Fyter Fest.
Yeah, so Cody's fine. He had a bunch of stitches on the head, no concussion.
Can I just put something out there? And I saw Blue Meanie put this out. He's a friend of mine. I love Brian. But I saw him and others put this out there about a gimmicked chair.
Yeah. So
explain to me how the chair was gimmicked.
So I guess
it was pre-dented. That doesn't mean shit.
Well, I think
anything.
Yeah, so AEW president Tony Khan said the chair was gimmicked during the scrum after the event. The Young Bucks said it too. So I think the main part of the chair.
We're saying the lip caught him, obviously. Okay, yeah. That wrapped around his head. I've taken 1,000 of them. I assure you, okay, you cannot gimmick a chair. What you do to gimmick it is you stomp on the lip. Before you grab the chair, you stomp on it to flatten it out. So if you do wrap around the guy's head, the lip cannot cut you now because it's flattened. Okay? But I'm telling you, it's still a shot to the head. It's still a chair shot to your head that rattles your brain around.
Yeah, so, he hasn't been clear, but can you make a prop chair, like a fake chair, where that main part is a different kind of material, where it's not steel, like it's tin or something?
Was it a padded chair? Because I was really trying to think. I'm like, Brian knows his stuff. He's from ECW. Like, what is he talking about? He knows a dented chair doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
As far as you getting hit over the head with it. Listen to me, you guys. Technically, we can get a concussion just from anything that makes your brain swish back and forth in your head. Just one back and forth. That's all it takes. Mm-hmm. It's very simple to be concussed. I mean, then where do you draw the line? Every sport can argue you can get concussions. So, but with the chair itself, though, it's inevitable. So that's why it's outlawed, obviously, right? But I just want to get back to that. I don't understand what everybody meant by saying it was gimmick, because there was nothing gimmicked about it.
Yeah, that was the only thing I could think of, was maybe it was a prop chair where the main part of the chair was, either padded or made out of some kind of different material that didn't.
But when Meanie said dented, I'm like, dude, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows for sure what, unless the Bucks, told people off the record, but they've been being quiet exactly about what he meant. Tony Khan would not elaborate when Nick had asked him at the presser about it, and he just said it didn't go as planned. It was a gimmick chair, and they had precautions that were put into place. But
and here's the bottom line: they're not going to, it was his decision to do it too, right?
Yeah.
It's the town's decision to do it. They wanted to do it. It is what it is. People aren't going to agree with it. Some people might thought it was cool for them. I don't know what. I just know that there's no question. Obviously, everybody cares about their health. There's no question in my mind about that. That company is a damn family, for crying out loud. These guys have been on the road for years, a lot of years, some of them together.
Yeah, my guess is that they probably won't be doing chair shots anymore.
No. And it didn't take away. I want to be very clear about this. That's not a storyline that's big enough to take away from that show. That show was awesome.
Yeah. No, it was a fun show outside of the pre-show. I thought the main card was awesome. It didn't have as much. I mean, obviously, you knew it wasn't going to have enough.
Right.
The same kind of buzz as Double or Nothing. It didn't crack the Google searches that night.
What do you mean by that?
The stuff that's trending. You know, Google has
Google Trends.
Google Trends. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like AEW Double or Nothing, made the Google Trends. This did not.
You could compare. Did you know that in Google Trends?
Yeah.
There's multiple search engines, and you can put like, AEW Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah, but still, overall, I think Tony Khan also afterwards said that these kind of matches, like the hardcore matches, obviously those kind of matches aren't going to be on TNT. Mm-hmm. They'll do that on pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Said they're not going to do intergender wrestling. He said with All In, the things he did not like were Jordan Grace getting punched in the face and the penis druids. Which
Nick Hausman asked about repeatedly and made him keep repeating the phrase.
The penis druids?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those were kind of the big notes coming out of Fyter Fest.
Yep. Fight for the Fallen, 2 weeks away.
Yeah, that's coming up quick. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that does. They haven't announced yet if that's going to be free. I'm assuming they talked they're going to raise money. Tony Khan almost made it sound like it's going to have kind of like a telethon aspect to it. They're going to raise money during the event. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think that's really good.
Yeah. What else? We got Bischoff comments that he's made about his new WWE job.
Yeah. So he, kind of what I mentioned earlier. He's moving to Stanford. He said it's the biggest challenge he's ever had. He's very excited. And yeah, he's pumped though. His podcast is going to continue, but they're not going to do the live shows anymore, which is similar to Bruce Pritchard. But yeah, so he'll be, within a couple of weeks, Bischoff will be in charge of SmackDown.
What we should have led off with when Glenn asked us, anything else you guys want, anything else going on in the business, you should have led off with the Wrestling Inc. interview with Ric Flair. We talked about how he was not asked to present the championship title in AEW's inaugural pay-per-view.
That is true. Yeah, Ric Flair. We got our interview that's dropping on tomorrow's Weekly. So download. If you're not subscribed to our audio channel, get it now. You'll get the full interview with Ric Flair on Tuesday's episode of the Weekly. Yeah, talked about. A
lot of people are talking about this. If I hear about it, I'm not online much. If I'm hearing about it, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah. And Flair, he said he was never asked to present the title belt at AEW Double or Nothing. That had been the rumor. He talked about Bischoff taking over SmackDown, saying cool. He talked about and Paul Heyman, and we got more coming up. But he talks about Andrade dating Charlotte Flair. His coming back from the surgeries that he recently had. Just tons of great stuff. So definitely check that out.
I'm sorry, cool. I'm not exaggerating. I heard like 7 different people in my gym tonight that was asking me about it because they know I do this podcast with you.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And we also have on the 4th of July an interview with the Patriot, if you guys remember.
Del Wilkes?
Del Wilkes.
Dude, he was in great shape, man. He looked like $1 million.
Yeah, he goes into great detail about his drug issues and all the problems getting going to prison. Just tons of great stuff. He really opens up, and it was a longer interview, so yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we got Kevin Von Erich coming up soon too.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Nice. Matt, you got any plugs before we take this home?
Nope.
There you have it. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein, where I live tweet along with WWE programming. We'll be back tomorrow night for the first SmackDown of the, I guess it's still pre-Eric Bischoff era, but he maybe has his hand in it a little bit. We'll see what happens tomorrow night on the air.
And they were teasing that Kofi versus Samoa Joe is going to be a ladder match, so I guess they'll probably do something tomorrow night to make that official.
Yeah. Very cool. We'll be back here to cover it all on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Until then, take care.